And now, B98 FM gives you the GreenAcres Healthy Half Hour. Here's Brett, Matt, and Shannon.
Well, on this Saturday morning, the 15th of December, welcome. We are 1 week and we are 2 days until we will be on the lookout for Mr. Santa Claus. It is Brett, Matt, and Shannon as we get ready for Shannon joining us, of course, from Kansas City. Is it beautiful?
Hi, guys.
Hey. And Matthew, how's your week? You're not feeling top of your game?
I'll be fine.
Okay.
Tell you, how those upper respiratory things always give you a little tiny bit of
You
a
always
warning.
start to get one about this time of year, Matt. I'm starting to wonder if it's psychosomatic for you.
Yeah.
I used to always do it. I actually have not been sick for a long time, so I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to work with it on my mind.
I like it. Got a busy show. Welcome to the Healthy Half Hour. Got some fabulous and festive things to get to, of course, today. Our topic of the week will be naturopathic medicine. We'll get to our guest in a little while here. Carrie Pattison joins us today with our vendor spotlight, Wish Garden Herbs. We'll talk to her a little bit later today on the Healthy Half Hour. Our farm report from Shannon, planning your own garden in 2012.
No, 2013, actually.
Oh!
We're getting ready for next year, Brett.
But you don't plan it now for 2013 is what I'm saying.
Well, you can plan it now. That's technically true. You are correct.
I like that here. And, of course, we've got our question of the week and also the deal of the day all to come. Holiday extravaganza, 3 stores. Matthew went extra well, didn't
Oh, my
it,
God, it was a ball. We had more fun, and, of course, everyone loves lining up and sampling those wonderful foods from our GreenAcres delis, plus all the things throughout the store that you can do to make your holidays more delicious.
Shannon, great stuff in KC, too, right?
Talk about being festive. I tell you, people up here are ready for the holidays. It's such a good sign to see so many people out, so many people happy, and so many people planning to be with their families and being so excited about it.
I love it here for us. All right, well, let's get started with our Healthy Half Hour. Today, it is Matthew with his top 5 list, as we always do. And, Matt, today, your topic of your top 5 for the 15th of December would be what?
You know what? Since we have a great guest today on naturopathic medicine, I thought we would look at the 5 top alternative or complementary medical treatments here. But before I jump in, I want you to know something. I did a list off of the Internet.
Okay.
Did you know that the number 1 most common procedure is prayer?
Is that right?
That is the highest one, 45%.
Wow.
So hit those 5 button for me.
Here's number 5.
Number 5.
Energy therapies. That's where you have therapeutic touch and Reiki. These are ways that you kind of like pass hands over the bodies and manipulate the body's energy. And you can release block energy and restore the natural healing energy all throughout the body.
Number 4.
Of course, we all know chiropractors. They are considered alternative medicine here, and they offer a diversity of treatment options, most likely dealing with spinal alignment, but of course they manipulate the spine, soft tissues, joints, and then of course they treat a lot of things like headaches, back pains, neck, joint pain, and often when you go to the chiropractor, they will give you ideas like on how to lead a healthy lifestyle and offer ideas on exercise.
I like that.
Number 3.
Herbal medicine, of course, one of our favorites, and people at GreenAcres, how did I realize that people coming into our store are doing alternative medicine? But herbs come from all over the world, depending on the culture, and in many countries, they are the primary source of medication. So herbs, Chinese, Indian, wherever you're from, they're all important.
Number 2.
Number 2, the body. Mind medicine, such as in yoga, believe it or not, teaches you to take control of your body, mind, and spirit. And that way you can affect, through your mind, healing in your body.
Oh, I like that.
Number
1, of course, our guest today is going to talk quite a bit about this, I would imagine. Acupuncture is the number 1 most widely used therapy, both in medical and complementary settings. So again, it originated from Chinese medicine, and these needles are actually inserted in the body in various places to trigger these little energy blocks and again restore the flow of qi or the energy through the body.
And there's Matt's top 5, the top 5 alternative medical treatment options. Shannon, it's a nice segue right here with our special guest today with the Healthy Half Hour, Dr. Ahuva, because, boy, we always seem that this topic, acupuncture, always seems to come up on the Healthy Half Hour for us 3.
It does. It's a classic procedure, obviously, and it's accepted by a lot of insurance programs and, of course, it's been around for thousands of years. And I love how we always kind of weave our way back to both acupuncture and herbal remedies, even with some of the hot new items that are really, taking natural medicine by storm. These are classics, tried and true, and I don't think we can talk about it too much.
Yeah, really. Dr. Ahuva, welcome to the Healthy Half Hour, and welcome on the show today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. Now, you as a naturopathic physician seem to be specialized specializing mostly in acupuncture. What led you to choose that as a way you kind of express your talent?
Well, when I went to Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington, they had both programs, and I thought acupuncture would be a wonderful treatment option for many people. And now that I practice out of Miami Beach, Florida, acupuncture is recognized, and we are able to work as primary care providers. And as was mentioned before, we can bill insurance, which I do in my practice as well, which makes it great for patients. However, in the state of Florida, naturopathic medicine is not licensed. It's not recognized. But as an acupuncture physician, I can prescribe herbal remedies. I could prescribe lab work, as well as diagnostic imaging, nutrition, supplements. I recommend exercise and all kinds of things. So I practice very napathically as an acupuncturist, but I'm not allowed to legally call myself a naturopath in the state of Florida, even though I'm licensed in the state of Washington.
Sure.
Now, I do want to mention we're going to talk about something really exciting here in a minute with our doctor guest today about cosmetic acupuncture. But before we go to there, do you think acupuncture has gained momentum? Do you see it continuing to grow?
Absolutely. In my practice, I see a lot of people who have come to me as a quote-unquote last resort. And then once they see that they become better, with their conditions because of acupuncture, they go back and tell their doctors and their friends and families, and then everybody starts to see acupuncture as a more viable healing modality, and it's becoming actually more mainstream and less alternative.
Wow. Cosmetic acupuncture, as Shannon talked about. This is a technique, doctor, that, correct us if we're wrong, it started in Italy. Is that right?
Italy started doing the injectables, which are used for an alternative to Botox. But the acupuncture with just needles without any substances being injected originated in China thousands of years ago.
Wow. Matt?
Of course, Brett's already asking the question. I knew he couldn't wait to get to the cosmetic acupuncture question.
I'm a very shallow person. You have to know that, of course, is what it comes down to. Well, let's talk about it. What is one of the biggest misconceptions when people mention cosmetic acupuncture? What is the number one misconception that people outside looking in might have?
Well, I would want to make sure that people know that it's gradual and that the effects are cumulative. It's not like Botox that once you have one-time injection, you look a certain way for 6 months or so. The acupuncture, because it's working on stimulating your own body's collagen production, that's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's usually recommended to do a series of 10 sessions about a week apart, and then you see the maximum results.
Doctor, I wanted to ask you one thing. You talked about doing injections, and most people think naturopathic medicine and injections don't seem to go together, but you're actually injecting homeopathic ingredients into people. How does that work?
Actually, naturopaths do all kinds of things, not only injections. We're able to do minor surgery in licensed states, of course. And we do often prescribe even things like antibiotics, things that you don't associate with naturopaths. But, there's a time and a place for everything, and we want to use the least intervention first, but we want to do what's appropriate and what's necessary for healing for the body. Sometimes that means palliation. But as you mentioned, what we inject is 100% natural. It's homeopathic. I also do vitamin injections for different things. But it's non-toxic, and it helps to stimulate the body's collagen production.
Well, and I also want to mention even some added bonuses when you do some of the cosmetic acupuncture, maybe not the injectables, but the acupuncture itself, is some people have reported improved digestion, better quality sleep, increased energy, and a sense of overall well-being, because I think it also stimulates circulation throughout the whole body, where you have Botox and Restylane and some of these other anti-aging things that are very localized and not necessarily synergistic with the rest of the body. So really, this is a healthy thing to do.
Absolutely. I call all the things that you mentioned side benefits instead of side effects.
Not side effects.
And what it is even if somebody comes in just for the facial rejuvenation, I place needles on other parts parts of the body, the hands, the feet, the ears, because we're treating the whole person. It's holistic medicine. We don't treat just the face. And you're absolutely right, because the facial points that are used for facial rejuvenation are the same points that are used for headaches, sinuses. There's points on the stomach channel, the bladder channel, so they get all kinds of side benefits.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you one thing. I think we're probably heading into a break, but I want us to think about this during the next minute or so. You know, in the last year, we have seen nothing but an absolute frenzy on these diet products that Dr. Oz has suggested.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And then when I read on your website that you're doing treatments for weight loss, I thought, uh-oh, we got to go there with you. So
let's do that. We got a quick break on the Healthy Half Hour here on the 15th of December. Back with Dr. Ahuva on the Healthy Half Hour in just one moment.
And now back to the GreenAcres Healthy Half Hour with Brett, Matt, and Shannon.
Well, we are on, and it's a Healthy Half Hour with Brett, Matt, and Shannon. Of course, our special guest today and our topic of the week with Dr. Ahuva in just a moment. Still to come on the Healthy Half Hour, our vendor spotlight with Carrie Pattison with Wish Garden Herbs. You're going to love hearing what she has to say. Question of the week and our farm report also coming up right around the corner on the Healthy Half Hour. Back to Matthew in our line of questioning with our special guest today on the Healthy Half Hour.
All right, doctor, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm skeptical when I hear all these weight loss claims here. So how are you going to dig yourself out of this one? How can you actually help people lose weight?
Well, first of all, unlike some of the weight loss gimmicks that you see on television, weight loss is not a one-size-fits-all type of deal. You can't just take a pill and expect to, have that solve your weight issues. So what I do with people is we have to first find the cause. We have to rule out any thyroid dysfunction or blood sugar issues and make sure that there's no medical reason why they have slowed metabolism, increased weight gain, fatigue, etc. So once we find the cause, then we can address the cause. And if the person doesn't have thyroid dysfunction or blood sugar issues such as diabetes, then we need to look at nutrition as well as supplementation and, of course, exercise. Because, as you know, Americans tend to lead a very sedentary lifestyle, and this, causes the weight gain combined with the standard American diet, also known as the SAD diet. Right. So once we make diet modifications and increase physical activity, and then we can also use supplements and acupuncture, then a person can achieve their optimal health and well-being and weight, of course.
And this is such great information, and we don't want our listeners to be overwhelmed that weight loss has to be, 25 different things. However, I think what we're making the point about this morning is sometimes you need some assistance in the process, and whether it's coming in to see us at GreenAcres and starting to work through, like the doctor was saying, what you're eating on a regular basis, rule out any other pre-existing conditions or something that might be influencing that, and allowing yourself to get healthy so that the weight loss is secondary. Coming in and grabbing a pill, even coming into a health food store and grabbing a pill, isn't necessarily going to be the answer.
Right, and not for the long term anyway. It could be a short term, you lose 5-10 pounds, but then what's going to prevent you from gaining it back once you get off of the pill or, whatever supplement that you're taking. And another thing that I didn't mention, which is very important, is detoxification. We're all exposed to toxins in the environment, in food, in drink, all around us. And so it's important for even those of us who are not overweight to detoxify at least once a year. And when people do detoxify, they notice that they lose excess water weight, so that, the pounds come off. And then it's easier to stimulate the weight loss program once a detoxification has been done.
How do people find that? How do they find acupuncturists or people who do that type of service?
That's a really good question. A lot of people find me online, and I guess they might have heard of it by reading a magazine article or having a friend. Word of mouth is number one for marketing. And it doesn't have as much exposure in the media as Botox and some of the other ones, because the other ones are more of a quick fix, and this is a society of everyone wants instant gratification.
Sure. Right.
To spend 2.5 months on facial rejuvenation, may or may not be what a person is looking for.
And Dr. Ahuva, direct us to a website. Best way for our listeners to the show to find out about you and about the cause and all the things we've just recapped. Is there something that you can direct our listeners to?
Absolutely. My website is www.mibaso.org. It's spelled MIBASO.org, and that's an acronym which stands for Mind, Body, and Soul.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, happy holidays, the best to you and your family, and thank you for joining us today on the Healthy Half Hour.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Boy, nice for us also to talk to Dr. Ahuva today on the Healthy Half Hour.